Joining us now is former West Virginia Senator and Governor Joe Manchin. Senator, it's great to see you. It's been a moment or two.
Hey, John, good to be with you all. It's a little warm today in D.C., but it's good to be here, and it's good to celebrate 250 years of freedom and liberty and justice.
Unlike the French, we have air conditioning in our studio, so we're doing all right today. Hey, listen, I want to point out again for our viewers that you left the Democratic Party a couple of years ago because they had gone too far left for you. Kind of like Ronald Reagan. I didn't leave the Democratic Party; they left me. They have sailed so far off the map now. Do you even recognize the party that you left?
Well, I'll tell you, I listened to Bobby, the person that just came on before me, and everything he said is exactly what the workers in West Virginia are saying. The coal miners, the AFL-CIO, all the workers that I worked with forever. And people are saying that, you know, what happened to the Washington Democratic Party is that they spend more time, effort, and resources on people that are able-bodied, capable of working, that don't work or won't work than those who do. And that's about as simple as you can make it. And I think that's what he was speaking about. The bottom line is this: this is a diverse country that we have. And the party system, John, the party system is designed to take control away from the people. And as independent, there's more independents registered like me, no party affiliation today, that are disenfranchised. Most of us can't vote. In 41 states, they have some form of a closed primary. In 17 states, they're completely closed. And everyone talks about, well, you can only get elected if you have the centrists in the middle. But the centrists in the middle have no one to really speak for them or represent them when they get to Washington. So we're trying to say, open the primaries up, both Democrats and Republicans. You won't be playing to the extreme base if you do that. And that's what we're asking for. Allow everyone to vote in the primary. Don't restrict anybody, and you'll get a more moderate candidate.
Yeah, as Carl Rowe was pointing out just a moment ago, these Democratic socialist-backed candidates have been winning in the deepest of deep blue districts. But look at this, and put it up on the screen. 28 of them have won primaries this election cycle. I mean, and they're not just winning blue districts, they're booting out establishment candidates. And I thought that this was a really interesting take. A Democratic strategist said this in Political Playbook today. You can blank on the establishment all you want, but at the end of the day, you are going to rely on them to actually win the election. I mean, the Democratic Party is in a dilemma here. They got some people who want to boot the leadership out. They're saying to Hakeem Jeffries, you're next, we're coming for you. But they need to rely on the Democratic leadership to help them get elected. And then the Democrats have got to rely on them to get the House and maybe the Senate. I mean, what a dilemma for the party to be in.
Yeah, both parties. You know, you have basically the MAGA part of the Republican Party, and you have the socialist extreme left on the Democratic Party. They have been able to take advantage of a closed system. Since the parties basically want to control, and they can control through the primaries by controlling primaries, these activists on both sides have taken over. Totally taken over, because they're more enthused, they're more excited, they're more engaged now because they don't like what's going on. They can't buy a house. Their credit is very difficult to improve with the student debt they have. The cost of living is so high that basically just the basics of groceries and your utilities and your food and your transportation is more than most of them can basically attain without help from their parents or grandparents. And then you have on top of that no opportunities upward bound. So they're, you know, and I would say caution to my Republican friends, because if they see you all benefiting or doing extremely the largest of what's going on, it's going to backfire. My grandfather always said, leave a little meat on the bone for the next dog. You've got to have everyone rising up with you. And right now, these activists on both sides. John, you were talking earlier about basically immigration, and the gentleman was telling you that's really what gave Donald Trump his victory. And I told the Democrats, Joe Biden and all of them, I said, you cannot have asylum at the border. We've never let people just come in. And they're paying the price for that. We had a bill in 2013, the bipartisan immigration bill. Democrats and Republicans. If we'd have passed that bill, you wouldn't have the problems. You wouldn't have with the birthright citizenship, because basically with a good immigration policy, you secure the borders, you stop people coming illegally. If they come illegally, you send them back immediately, and they have to come the right way through. But you got to deal with about 15+ million people undocumented, and we did that in the bill that allowed them to work their way into citizenship. You need to do that if you want to get paramilitary off the street.
Well, President Trump certainly has been pretty effective in lowering cross-border traffic, just by doing it the way that he's doing it.
Most certainly.
So I wanted to ask you this question just before we go here, because on the occasion of America's 250th birthday, a lot of us are feeling patriotism and love for this country. This was an adopted country for me. No, it wasn't for you. But a lot of these Democratic Socialist candidates just seem to want to crap all over America. I mean, you have Daria Liza Chevalier, who said her hands were dirty. And what was she going to wipe her hands on? She turned around and she wiped her hands in the American flag behind her. I mean, who are these people?
I have no idea, and I can tell you one thing: she better not wipe her hands on the American flag in West Virginia. That's all I can warn her. She wants to come there and try that antic. The thing of it is, can't they understand them being able to speak out? Them being able to do things that no other country would probably allow you to do is because of all the blood, sweat, and resources that have been spent over 250 years. Can't you at least celebrate? We're not celebrating President Trump or any other president or any other politician. We're celebrating this experiment that we could basically govern ourselves. We're having a hard time right now. We're getting too divided. John, we've got to bring it back. It's about the country, not about me, not about the Democrats or Republicans, not about the President Trump or anybody else. It's about this country and the freedom and liberty this country has given us. They couldn't do this anywhere else. Can't they just respect that and enjoy the day?
Well, we've got a divide that's as tall as the Rocky Mountains and only getting bigger. Senator, it's great to catch up with you. I always appreciate
let me tell you,
your time.
hey, John, if I can say one thing, John.
Sure.
The people in this country are not as divided as the government here makes you think. This is a business. It's a duopoly. It's a business. Both business models are divide and conquer, divide and conquer. Hate the other side. The other side's the enemy. It's not that way in downtown America. It's not that way on the streets of America. People want us to come together. If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have about 50% of the people saying, "I don't want to belong to either party. I'm an independent." So, John, set yourself free and become an independent.
Yeah, Washington's been a zero-sum game for a long time, and I've been an independent for as long as I can remember. Senator, great to talk to you. Thanks so much.
God bless you.
Appreciate it.
God bless you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.